Precognition is an ability that most people would love to have, would love to possess, because they believe if they would have this, their lives would be so much easier. And the reality is that this is something that you can gain after the Kundalini awakening, but it's not as simple as you might think, and it can actually feel as a curse. So this is a story about one thing that I knew before it happened, and I really want to use this scenario to show why it can be actually a very, very negative thing and why I'm saying that. So this video is not about, I would say, a definite proof. This is not what I'm claiming. I want to share the story as something that is interesting. And as a viewer, you can decide if it was just a very interesting, rare coincidence, or it was actually precognition. I had, and I have many other stories as well like this, but this is something that probably is the most recent and could really demonstrate the negative, I would say, impact of it. So I had my very first Kundalini awakening over 8 years ago. And after that, I started channeling and also gathering information, having visions. And if I wanted to get information about certain things, information came, or sometimes information came without even asking. And in order to get to that Kundalini awakening, I had 2 twin flame connections. This is going to be an important part of the story, that's why I'm saying. I had many changes even before I met or attracted my very first twin flame. And the very first twin flame connection I had was basically an accelerator to even connect closer to my true self. And it changed me. And when you change, basically, whoever is your opposite is going to be someone different, someone else. Because, of course, if you change, your opposite is going to change as well. Unless the original opposite is changing with you. And with the second twin flame connection, I had the Kundalini awakening. That's why this story is important. And I also channeled a lot of past life memories. So basically, I understood why this relationship happened. And I also understood that twin flames are basically attachments. And the thing I had to overcome that kept repeating throughout my lives was that I had to be able to leave this person. That this was basically the life lesson, that I had to be able to walk away. And I remember I was really upset about this situation. And there was this thing that came to me, that it was never ever a possibility to stay with my twin flame because he would die anyways. This is what I was told. He would die anyways. And I asked at what age? And it said a certain age. So not one, but like 2 ages next to each other. And it said that it really depends on him, how he changes, what decisions he is going to make. And it said that the real age of his death can be plus minus 1 or 2 years. And I just wanted to know, okay, like what would happen? Like how would he die? And I remember I even saw like a body. I never saw a face, but it was like really, really skinny. And it said it would be some sort of a cancer that you can't just cut out, because sometimes when you have a certain type of cancer, you can cut it out and then it's relatively easy to treat, compared to when it's spread all over and there is no option to basically cut out one point because it's everywhere in the body. And it also said that the cancer would go on for 3 or 4 years. And I remember that I was so scared that this actually meant it was about this second twin flame that I was with, because at the time we were together. And I had this prediction basically 6 years ago. And I kept talking, even when we are not together anymore, but I decided to talk to him every day just to make sure that he is fine. Because this was my belief that if I leave, if we are not together, if I don't do anything to make him stay with me, it would mean that he is safe. And this was my belief. But I never thought that I probably misinterpreted certain parts. And this is the thing about channeling and gathering information, that maybe certain parts can be misinterpreted. And this is what happened with this, that what I channeled was 100% true, as it turned out last week. I saw a Facebook post, and it turned out that the person I gathered the information about was my first twin flame connection. He was the one who died under these circumstances. And everything I got, his age, how it happened, what type of cancer it was all 100% true, unfortunately. And this was something I didn't even think about him, that it would happen, because he was always this healthy person. He didn't drink, he didn't smoke, he was always full of life and very, very active. So it never even crossed my mind that this could happen to him. And we didn't talk for maybe nearly a decade now. So of course I was not aware of what was going on with him. But because we lived in the same place for a long time, this post came up in one of our mutual friends' Facebook post. And first I thought it was a prank. I said, rest in peace. And when I looked into it, the reality came out. And this is what is really, I think this video is about, that just because you know something, this is the problem. Maybe you misidentify certain things. And even if I knew this, like, just imagine if I knew it for 100%, this is true. Like, I couldn't have done anything. This is not something that could have been prevented. And there is this other thing, that what if I would tell it to someone and it wouldn't turn out to be true? Then they would live their lives in utter horror and terror and fear. So this is a really, I don't know, like a shocking experience for me, even that this came true, because it's not something I want to foresee, or I don't think it's a good thing to foresee something, because now it can also trigger me in a sense that maybe if I see against something, I will believe it's 100% true, but there is also a probability that maybe it's not. So this is the problem with this ability that it's actually a curse as well, because I think it can make life a lot more difficult in a sense, because you don't know what to do, and you can never know it for 100% that it's 100% truth, or you got the information about the right person. And I don't know, it's just something that still keeps me under shock. But there is another part to it that it's interesting, that I just made a video recently that I don't really see the value of the abilities I gained after my Kundalini awakening. And his death actually showed me something, that I can communicate with him. So it gives some sort of a closure in a way that I couldn't get or couldn't have gotten otherwise. So this is something that is, I would say, also a weird experience, that I just been complaining about something, and it's like life shows me, here you go. This is what you can do with it. Here is your answer. So anyways, I thought it would be just an interesting thought, and also a part of this whole thing, that even with Twin Flame Connections, I remember when I met him, there was this instant click, like you can feel your aura syncing or clicking, or I usually called it as an energetic bond. And with the second Twin Flame connection, it felt a lot deeper, and I could feel that I'm connected to the core, like in the middle of the heart, all the way down to the Kundalini line. And I always compare these two people, as the other person was not as deep, and the pain itself shows that actually it's exactly the same. It goes exactly to the same place. It's just when we met, I was in a different state of mind. So basically, I couldn't feel that connection as deep, or connecting to the exact same place. So I thought it's just an interesting thought to share, and see you in my next video.